Sugar-free week.
I don't think you enjoyed it.
Hello world.
Hi.
How do you feel on your first day of we're gonna do a no sugar week?
We're doing a whole week of no sugar. How do I feel? Ready for it. Definitely indulged way too much over the last couple of weeks. Not that it's bad, but yeah, I'm ready to cleanse my skin, my body, and my soul. Okay, so we've just got back from a nearly death-defying Aldi shop.
Not a fan of that Aldi.
Yeah, guys, don't go to the Edgbaston Aldi. It's fucking terrifying, honestly.
About a 50 meter rule.
Yeah, okay, Mom.
50.
Whatever.
I don't know.
Hey, she's excited about all the goods that we've got. So, Mom, let's have a little breakdown. What did you get in your weekly shop? Avocados, yeah. That was pretty impressive, to be fair.
So,
Over halfway, what have we got for lunch today? We've got roasted veggies, just with olive oil, salt, pepper, and a little bit of mixed herbs. Mal, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling great.
I know, look at her. She said skin is glowing. Energy levels?
If anything, I think I have more energy.
Yeah, I do too, actually. I agree with that one. Struggle in the week, but you've had energy throughout.
Yeah, I feel like my head's not as foggy, I'm not lethargic.
Yeah.
Hey guys, today we are going to be talking about sugar and how we did a sugar-free week. Although it wasn't really sugar-free, it was kind of focusing on more of the natural style of sugar options. So we'll go through some of the lists that we actually included. But first of all, what is sugar-free? There's many different options. You can have natural occurring sugars, you can have unsweetened products, you can have artificial sweeteners, you can have sugar alcohol. So there's loads of different kinds you can actually obtain in the body, which people don't really realize. They just think sugar's a 1 or 2 kind of thing. Okay, so we're going to discuss a little bit more about it. Okay, so some of the naturally occurring sugars are found in obviously your fruits and vegetables, a lot of the sweeter kind of ones you'd expect: bananas, sweet potatoes, pineapples, that kind of thing. And they're the ones we really focused on during this week, didn't we? So we have them anyway, so it wasn't too much of a struggle, I don't think, was it? Well,
No.
we'll discuss that a little bit. But so again, we want to focus on that. For everybody should be getting those in the diets anyway. Then you have your unsweetened. So these can be found a lot in the plant milks, things like apple sauces, certain iced teas, obviously not when you add loads of sugar to them, but just the naturally occurring, but they still reduce the sugar intake, if that makes sense. And then you have, thirdly, your artificial sweeteners. So that's when you get the packets. So again, you have a lot of controversy with companies like diet sodas and normal sodas, and they say both are bad for each other. There's a lot more into that. There's some evidence to suggest that they can cause certain diseases, but there hasn't been any conclusive actual data saying that. So again, limit them and stick to more of a natural approach like stevia. And then finally, sugar alcohol. So these are things they put in foods to kind of preserve them and keep them from tasting nice, etc.
I'm going to put my glasses on so I feel a little bit more intelligent. Health benefits of reducing those artificial sugars. So you can have health benefits for your skin. I actually found that it was the opposite for me, but we'll go into that in a little bit. So it can really help your skin, reduce disease, because you're reducing the inflammation within the body. Again, that can be beneficial for skin, premature aging, tooth decay.
Tooth decay is one,
Yeah.
and just kind of any chronic disease really, because they say there's even been some things that suggest, this again is not a fact, so please don't take my word for it, but there's even studies where they said cancer cells feed on starch when you can chronic disease. But yeah, nothing to worry about, that's not conclusive. So
Cool. Glasses down, onto more.
Considerations. We have some considerations from this week, because we found that while it can be good, obviously there's so many health benefits to going that approach, I would suggest nearly everybody does that, but
Oh, I forgot another one. Weight loss.
yeah,
Not
because that's the big
necessarily,
one.
but weight
Yeah, of
loss could be
course.
one for
Yeah.
reducing artificial sugars.
Yeah, 100%.
Sorry, what were you saying? Considerations.
Can interact with
Sorry.
hormone levels on that aspect as well.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, considerations, we found that if you're thinking, oh, I need to cut this out of my diet, you're immediately placing
Pressure.
Pressure and going back to old habits. So like restriction and addiction kind of tendencies that some people might have if they've had things like eating disorders. So things like that we wouldn't recommend people going on to and really applying that pressure, because it's very easy to fall back into old habits. I think that was the main one, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, and another one we said about obviously reduced inflammation.
Yeah.
I'll quickly just give like a brief part about what I'm going to say about considerations is, in our case, what I found is I was eating a lot more fruit, so natural sugars. And for me, with my past history with eating disorders, I think what's happened is I've damaged the acid and the stomach lining. So I found that I was actually more bloated because I was having more fruit than I normally would, if that makes sense. Maybe because I felt as though I was lacking from having my dark chocolate or things like that. So I was naturally eating more fruit, but my IBS was like crazy, wasn't it? I was so gassy.
Yeah.
I smell a lot, sorry. But yeah, that could be another consideration to think about if you have damaged yourself in the past.
Yeah, and funny enough, even if you haven't been through that process, obviously, again, sciencey. I feel like I need a glasses on now.
No, you don't. You're already sciencey.
I can't even see with these on. It's a bit blurry. But sugar is actually quite like this. Look like a
Looks good.
professor. Dr. Molly, PhD. Not really. But fructose, I'm taking them off now. I can't be serious. Fructose is a type of carbohydrate that's glucose and fructose. I won't go too much into this, but that's mainly found in fruits. So if you're having more fruit, fructose is broken down almost immediately. If you're having too much, it releases as it's fermented in water in the stomach and through the intestines. It ferments, and that's when you get the gas and bloating. So again, it can be good, but if you go to that and
you're not used to that much fruit.
Exactly. So
yeah, another consideration. Cool. So we're going to talk about why we decided to give this a try for just 1 week. Why did we do it? Too much cake.
We like to have that flexible approach, don't we? But I think we'd gotten to the stage where it was getting little bits were kind of starting to creep in most days.
Like every day, every evening we would have
maybe like
a smoothie bowl or chocolate at like 9 p.m. at night.
We're not seeing that's bad,
No,
but
it's
it
not
got
bad.
to be
It was every day.
a bit more than we would have liked. And with your birthday, we made the best unicorn cake ever. Rainbow unicorn cake. It's actually on it's on our page, Instagram if you want to check it out. It was pretty good. I think we went through that within like a couple of weeks, so that was the issue.
It was like 5 layers as well.
But yeah, I think that's why we did it really, and we were feeling bloated. I know for me, I was feeling very lethargic,
heavy,
and I
tired. Was feeling more tired. Don't know about you.
Yeah.
So we just thought we'd give it a try, just to see if we could notice any changes, any benefits, or maybe the opposite. So we can get into that now, I guess. So what is it that you found by having your sugar-free week?
We had a few different but similar.
Yeah. You go. I want to hear Molly's. Go on, let's go.
Some funny opinions on this, but I found that I definitely did feel better. Not gonna lie, I did. I just felt like I felt lighter in myself. I felt that I wasn't restricting myself too much either. It wasn't like, oh no, I can't be having that and I'm restricting all carbohydrates. That's not what we're having, because we'd still have like oats for breakfast. I think we'll share a couple of videos as well on what we
what we were making.
What we have actually, we went through a shop, which we'll put it on, and what we actually got, and it was pretty much the same as what we usually would, just without the odd few things like maybe condiments, and we cut out a few rice cakes, because some sugars can be added, like sun-dried tomatoes. Sometimes they put sugars in the oils as well. So things like that we cut out. So it wasn't a massive change.
It wasn't really.
So I found that if anything, I preferred it a little bit more. I felt lighter, and funnily enough, my knee, I don't know whether this is a consideration, because we didn't, again, big thing here, we didn't factor for other outside influences, so we didn't factor for how much exercise did we have to do during the week, how much water intake did we do, what was the weather like. Those can all, like sleep as well, that they can all play. There's variables that can contribute to it. So again, we're not saying this is fact straight away.
It's just what you notice on your 7 days.
And like again, my skin felt it wasn't bad to start with, but I just felt it was so clear, and even my knee, because obviously I'm going through knee rehab, and I just felt like my inflammation has went down a lot more. I felt like I could really push it a little bit more. And again, is that a mental thing, or is it just because my knee's generally actually getting better without the doing that anyway? So again, we don't know, but that's just what I found. What did you find?
Oh, I struggled. I'm not gonna lie. I think it was day 1. I was on the kitchen floor, like, but I think mine's very psychological, except for the bloating. That's one thing I noticed. But the bloating was a lot more. But I think we figured that is from just my intake of fruit. So before me and Molly got together, I was hardly.
Yeah, if you didn't know already, we're not just friends. Just
don't leave me hanging, bro. Thanks. Before Molly and I got together, I was genuinely, I'd eat 2 pieces of fruit a week, and that wasn't from restriction. It just, I never thought
2 pieces of fruit a week.
Like genuinely, I'd never eat fruit. Like hand on heart, the only fruit that I'd maybe have would be in porridge oats, and that would only be like a small amount of frozen berries. So I'd never like snack on a piece of fruit. So I think what it is from the damage I did from previous times in my stomach, and I naturally have IBS, probably from ruining my body at a young age. I was bloated a lot. I was really gassy, really windy, like puffy. So I actually felt the opposite to you. I didn't feel as light. I just felt more like, oh my God, my stomach hurts. In
fact,
weird.
You didn't feel great. I could tell as well you were a little bit more moodier.
Sorry.
Moodier? Is that yeah?
Sass. The sass levels were up. Besides that, I think it's more psychological for me than anything, but I'm not very good with restriction. Probably because I believe in astrology, like star signs. I'm a Gemini, all or nothing, the 2 twins. So for me, as soon as you say, okay, you're eliminating, I know it was only artificial sugars, but as soon as I hear eliminating, my brain starts to play tricks on me, and I think, oh, we're going back into old habits. Okay, so that means no treats. That means you should start to reduce your carb intake. That means So for me, I just genuinely don't think I can be put onto something where I'm told
you need to do this.
You need to do this. Because I felt. Yeah, I was dipping a lot. I struggled this week. But I think, again, it's not because I eliminated the sugar. It's more of a psychological thing. So for me personally, I'm just going to stick to intuitive eating because I feel like that works for me. But for Mol, she might want to stay and do like what she said, just have a couple treats now and then, as in the artificial sugars. So
yeah, I think overall, I don't want to put that label on saying you need to cut this out, because again, no food is, I don't want to discriminate any kind of food group, and that's not what we teach as coaches.
No, exactly.
But again, it's very easy to, even as both have been in the field for a long time and know what we're talking about, and it's easy to place that restriction upon yourself and again get back into old habits, and I do not want to go there again. So I think for me, having each other is amazing as well, because you can you can tell each other and be like, "Mo, are you just doing that because you don't want it? Or are you doing it because you're going back into old habits?" Like things like that. So it's nice to have a support system. And don't get me wrong, it can be really beneficial if trying it out for a week or 2 or 3, maybe even. If you are someone who has a lot of sugar, because it can kind of teach your habits to be a bit more disciplined.
Which is a good thing as well.
Exactly,
It is a good thing. I forgot to notice, you said your skin was really clear. I think, again, it's psychological, but I think I gave myself a rash. I know that sounds mental, but before I started the sugar-free week, my skin was like fine. You can't really see it now. Well, you can like a little bit. It's like just here. But I got this rash, and I think it's because I was stressing myself out, thinking I can't have this sugar, I can't have this sugar. So I think I've literally gave myself a rash. I don't think it's to do with lack of sugar. I think it's just psychologically I've stressed myself out. So yeah.
Again, so yeah, just well, stressing yourself out. No, take home. I think overall we would. This goes for everyone. Again, you need to consult with your dietitian, doctor. What are your dietary needs? People need more nutrients, certain area of nutrients than others. Again, but overall, try and focus on that natural approach from your fruits and vegetables.
Intuitive eating as well. Don't eat if you're bored.
Yeah.
I do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Great example. Again, just try and find some unsweetened products better than the full kind of sugar ones as well. So for example, almond milk, try and go for the unsweetened option. It's not that much.
Just as
it's
good.
Not that different, especially if you're having it in oats and smoothies. You won't taste the difference.
Monitor as well, guys. Like you said, Mel, just try it out for a week or two and monitor yourself. Maybe put a little journal down, notice any changes within your body, and just make sure before you go changing, if you think, right, I definitely want to go sugar-free for like the health benefits that we mentioned, make sure you consult a doctor or make sure you consult a dietitian.
Do it in the right way, because you can easily start restricting too much. You can be having too much, just like, even just living off fruit, for example, like don't get me wrong, fruit's so many health benefits, but you will be missing a lot of different nutrients from other foods. So consider the total amount of sugar. That's a massive one as well, because you might replace these sugars for artificial sweeteners. You might end up actually having more sugar by having all these fruits and other things. So again, I think that's a big one to take home. But I think that's all we have on it. So I hope you enjoyed.
Thanks,
and
guys.
don't get too freaked out by sugar, because it's not the enemy.
Make sure to give us a subscribe and like, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.